All right, guys, welcome back to Adam and I series of scaling a brand new agency from $0 to $1 million. And this is episode 20. So we are now in the final 10 days of this first season of basically 30 YouTube videos in a row for the month of January. And we've made amazing progress, and I'm really happy about where we're at and what we've accomplished in the first 3 weeks of this. But with all that being said, today's episode is not really related to the series. It's not going to be about getting clients. It's not going to be about closing deals. It's not going to be about videography. It's not going to be about cold approaching. And to be quite honest, it's not going to be anything relative to the series. So if you're here to watch content about the series, feel free to click away now. But today is actually the day that I was baptized, and you're watching this the next day. So yesterday was, I guess, technically the day that I was baptized. A couple things I want to talk about that I feel like could be useful for you guys who are watching this, and things I've taken away in my journey of doing this for the past 5 years. So if that's something you're interested in listening to, please stick around. At the end of yesterday's episode, you guys heard me say this quote with my mentor. So me and my mentor in yesterday's episode, if you guys haven't watched yet, yesterday's episode, I basically sat down with my mentor, talked about a bunch of different topics, and we also went through my apartment because this is my first time. He was his first time seeing it. So go watch the previous video if you haven't seen it already. But this is the quote, and I just want to reread it again for you guys who haven't seen the last episode where I talked about it. So one of the most important people that has ever entered into my life told me this quote 4 years ago, and I'm not really sure where they got it from, but if you set yourself a goal and work toward it, you are using clock time, you are aware of where you want to go, but you honor and give your fullest intention to the step you are taking in this moment. If you become excessively focused on the goal, perhaps because you are seeking happiness, fulfillment, or a more complete sense of self in it, the now is no longer honored. It becomes reduced to a mere stepping stone of the future with no intrinsic value. Clock time then turns into psychological time. Your life's journey is no longer an adventure, just an obsessive need to arrive, to obtain, to make it. You no longer see or smell the flowers by the wayside either, nor are you aware of the beauty and the miracle of life that unfolds all around you when you are present in the now. The reason why I'm repeating this quote from yesterday's video is because I want to emphasize how important this quote is, especially during a YouTube series of me and my business partner scaling a brand new company from $0 to $1 million. Even though we have that goal laid out for ourselves, or I guess KPI that we want to accomplish, it's really important that Adam stay level-headed and have a balance of understanding that we need to be living in the moment and living in the now. And honestly, I'm so glad that we signed Jake and Wills in episode 1. If you haven't already, go watch the first episode of this series. We signed probably, arguably, one of, if not my favorite set of client that I've ever worked with in my entire career. And the reason for that is because we're actually able to get done what we want to get done, work with a group that we actually want to work with and go out and get results. And not only that, but it allows us to, like the trip in Utah you guys saw, I feel like Adam and I were actually able to enjoy being in the moment while also executing our goal of getting to $1 million this year. So I reread that quote to you because it's just so important about being level-headed and understanding that if you are going for something like this and you're going all in on videography or your content agency or being a content creator, whatever it is that you are setting out to do, that you stay within the moment and you don't become controlling and obsessive. You don't let yourself become so obsessive about the goal that you forget everything else. And the reason I'm telling you this is because this is something 4 years ago, 5 years ago almost. Something 5 years ago that I struggled with terribly, because when I left college and I left the 9-to-5, I haven't been employed in 5 years and allowed myself to become drowned in the obsessiveness of wanting to make it. And although there was a lot of sacrifice that had to be made in order to make this thing work. I mean, I live in the most beautiful apartment. I have the best colleagues. I work with the best people. I have a gorgeous car that I love, that I dreamed of my whole entire life. And yet I'm only 23, and it's without sounding arrogant, it goes without saying that I'm extremely, extremely, extremely blessed. And it took me 23 years of my life and a very, very unfortunate situation where I almost lost my life last year to figure out that everything that has happened since the day that I was born has been a product of God. And once I realized that, and I got to give thanks to people like Clayton, people like Cam, to a certain extent discipled me in my spiritual journey and has led me to this day, or yesterday when you guys watched this, to finally take that step and being baptized and giving my life to Jesus Christ. Now, there's a combination of things that I'm discussing here. I was obsessed with where I wanted to be and the goals that I'd set myself for years. And arguably, I have accomplished those things. And it feels good, but nothing feels better than being in the moment with the people that you love and who also love you, and understanding that we are only given this opportunity because Jesus Christ died on the cross for us. And he died for our sins and gave us the opportunity to have life. And with that being said, it took me a while to get to this point. I had to really grow up in a religious household. I was dedicated as a baby to a church, and that's about as far as religion goes for me in my entire life. So it was just all up to me to finally realize that everything that has happened for me and the way that it has gone has all been a product of God and his son, Jesus Christ. And it is really such a special day for me to finally be baptized and take that next step in my spiritual journey. And I wanted to share both sides of it, where I was once struggling with understanding that I didn't even understand, actually, because I was not aware of the fact that when I was 19 years old and I left college and I left a regular job and went all in on my video business, that I was then only obsessed with wanting to become successful in that. And I let people go of I let people who were really special to me in my life go. I lost time with family, lost time with really good friends, and all I cared about was just making it work, making this business successful, making myself successful. I was obsessed with every materialistic thing that you can possibly imagine at that time. I was mainly obsessed with money and the idea of making money. Even though this YouTube series, it might sound ironic because we're going from 0 to 1 million, but $1 million, something I want you to understand is you can't be obsessed with the goal and numbers, because if you are, you will lose yourself in that. And I feel like there has to be a balance of it, because the sacrifices that I made in that time period that have led me to now, I would not be here without making those sacrifices, right? Again, the only thing I'm encouraging you to understand in this video is go out, do big things, challenge yourself, set big goals, and accomplish what you actually want to accomplish in this life. And God will guide you in your own journey, however he feels is best fitting for you in your life. And I'm here to tell you right now, after just being baptized, that it took me 23 years to get to the point where I actually realized that every single bad or good thing that has happened to me since I was born and into my life and to people around me was what needed to happen, because that's what God felt like needed to happen in order for me to be here now in the moment that I'm in and be able to enjoy the miracle of life, right? That's really all I had for this episode. And it might be a obviously way different episode than you guys are used to seeing in this series, but the reality is me and Adam can't go travel to a different state, work with a different client, and try to close 3 different clients in every single episode. You guys know where we're at. If you don't know where we're at right now, go watch all the previous episodes in this series, because I think arguably we are doing a great job. And Adam, my team, Adam, Lane, Arnold, Max, David, Elder Adam, Gwen, the people on my team are so good, and it's the only reason that I have this machine working right now. And if you go watch episode 2, I talk a lot about this, where it's just you can't go and get scale a business to X amount of dollars without having a good team, good people. And again, it just goes back to understanding that even though your journey is about you, it's not just about you. And I feel like the sooner that you understand the sooner that you understand that walking with God will only help you, not only just help you, but how can you lose when you walk with God? How can I lose when I walk with God? And now that I am walking with God, and arguably I already did everything that I did, completely not understanding at that time that he was the reason that all the good things and even all the bad things were happening, but it's everything that needed to happen in order to bring me to this moment now and where I'm at. I'm just so blessed. And I'm so blessed to be able to do this YouTube series, film these videos for you guys, provide value, be a voice in the industry, and give my opinions and thoughts, and have people take that for what it is and take advice from me. And I also love mentoring. I love coaching people. I love teaching people. So yeah, long story short, I love what I do. All thanks to God and Jesus Christ for everything that's happened in my career and where I'm at now. And also thanks to you guys, my family and my friends as well. So that's going to conclude this episode. Again, probably not what you were expecting from this one, but that's what I got. And we'll be back at it tomorrow, me and Adam. So if you don't already, if you want to connect with me further, you want to learn from me, you want to learn from within the community that we have here at Leverage Creator, please go check the links in the description. That's all I got. Love you guys. See you in the next video.